the knee-jerk reaction for my situation at that point was, I'm going to keep this baby because I want somebody to love as much as I've been wanting to. And I'm not encouraging 17-year-olds to get pregnant. Where? So I'm thinking, hey, about time basi you guys put me in college. Nimesuffer easy 2 years. College, yeah. No, it wasn't college. They had ideas and ideas. They wanted to put me in high school. According to their words, we're going to give you one more chance to do this, to do life. And, well, they did give me a chance. So my mom started not panicking, tamacking. Shortly after that, she's going looking for schools. There's that 2 years gap. And it's not like you are in Form 3 now you want to join. No, it's not like you are in Form 2 now you want to join Form 3. You are in Form 4 na ulikuwa umemaliza. I just knew this is what I need to do. I stopped making it my parents' idea and made it, embraced it and wanted to really do this, without it being, it's because my mom said, it's because my dad said. No, I wanted it to be, okay, yes, they said. So how do I squeeze as much lemonade from these lemons and do it? And now this time, it's not like the first time when I was in high school. No, this time, it's not just me. It's me and my daughter. Of course, rumors were going round because I had people from back home saying it. And every time somebody was asking me, ay, Karo, bethe, unakuanga na mtoto? I was like, ay, mtoto. Not denying, not agreeing, and then that story dies away. Hello, my name is Carolina, and this is the Dining and Journals podcast, episode 2. Oh my goodness. Yep, here we are. So I did not know where to start with this episode, but I had so much, as I said, I have way so much to talk about. Sometimes it overlaps in my mind, but I decided, instead of starting from the starting point, because there is no starting point, why don't we start at the middle? Why don't I start at the middle? And then we can use the past, the present, and the future hopes, as reference. So where is the middle? I personally consider the mid part of my life, my current life, as the time when I went back to high school. Oh, yes. And it's very interesting. It happened when? In 2016. I had already completed Form 4. I had gotten my kid. I had gotten a grade from my previous Form 4. My kid was already 2 years old. 2 years old. And I was a mother at that time, of course, yeah. I was 20. So, this 20-year-old is called for a meeting. And she's told, so it's my parents, my mom and dad, they called me and asked, we have reviewed your life. We have reviewed your current life na hatujafurahia venye unaishi hivyo basic. So they asked me they didn't even ask me to choose you. Have you met African parents? They did not ask me to choose that at all. They just went all in, like, decide unarudi shule. At the back of my mind, I'm like, hey, finally, about time I went to college. 2 years. Shocker. College for who? So I come from a family where people believe you have to get, at that time, though, SAI doesn't even matter, CBC and stuff. So at that time, they used to believe you really have to make the cut point and go to university. It's your college. And I have no bad blood against college, but, family, it's not me, it's them. So they wanted me to go back to school. So that's the middle. Before that, 2 years earlier, I was in Form 4. 2 years earlier, that's 2014. I was in Form 4. Just a young girl living her best life and ready to finish and go out there and face face life, face the world, and do those things tunaambiangwa mutafanya hadi mchoke. Yeah? I was ready to kuchoka with hiyo kufanya. So, okay, that came out wrong, but just go with the flow. So 2 years before this middle part that I'm explaining now, I was in Form 4. I was ready to sit for my exam. I was just ready to get over and done with the first two parts of the 844 system, right? Life though had another plan for me. Second term, I guess, somebody came to the school and we started grooving and talking and chatting, and it was nice. It was good. But it ended up in ways that no Form 4 a 17-year-old wants it to end in. And before I know it, we're in that term. Before I know it, 2 months pregnant, I guess. I think, yeah, when I was doing my KCSE. But the best part about that is, I know I'm skipping a lot of parts and I'm just speaking about it casually. Like, every point has a whole story around it. But these are just pointers, right? So that you can see, it's like laying a background or a platform. We're going to speak about them in depth and probably what I have done with my life since then and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just giving pointers. So what happens in 2014, towards the end, that term, I'm there, not prepared for my KCSE whatsoever, because I was busy doing other things, like, I don't know, running around with boys. That one boy, wait, don't misquote me. So, I realized I'm pregnant. Early third term of Form 4. And so my first thought was, it's here, it has happened. And, well, I was shocked, first of all. I don't know how it happens, but it's mostly always the girls with the strict parents. Always the killer, like, pregnancy never misses. And, of course, it's not all. They don't even have the right statistics. But most of the girlies who got pregnant, teenage pregnancies, early 20s or whatever, those ones ni most wenye they don't even know how to break the news to their parents because kwa nyumba ya nani. So that was me. At that point, I was living with my grandparents. My parents were living separately. So I don't know who to tell first and who not to tell first. And who to tell last, sorry. So I am here wondering, what am I going to do? I'm supposed to sit for my exams in a month. Because I think I realized that time, your time to look at tunarudi August, September, towards the end of September. So onset October. I realized hizo lines zimekuja mbili. And I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to sit for my KCSE. I'm supposed to be the exemplary girl. Because also now, when you've been a good performer all your life, you raise the hopes of everyone so high. They already have an idea of what they want you to become. They already have an idea of you in their mind. You're going on that straight path. There is no zigzag. There is no curves. It's that path that they have made in their mind for you, and it's that one. If you got, say, like a B+ in your KCPE, they expect you to not get anything less than that. So you've raised their hopes so high, they have an idea. And pregnancy at 17 is not one of those ideas, my love. It's not. So here I am, having gotten a very good grade in KCPE, having passed, having gone to a very good, that time we were calling them provincial schools, and they were very good, still are. I don't know what they're called nowadays. I think there was a whole revamp with the naming and stuff. So you get a good grade in KCP. You go to a really good school that is the talk of the whole area. And somehow along the way, you go to a day school. That was not from my doing. We'll come back to that later. And here you are, in Form 4, instead of studying to match your grade that you had in KCP, you're here carrying bele, yeah? You lady. So, I was wondering, nitasema, how do I break this to these people who have such high expectations of me? They already have the grade I'm going to get in my KCP in their mind, right? Um, it happened that I was living with my grandparents at the time, and my mom was staying at a different place. Ile tu kutafuta kitumanga pesa mlipe school fees mfanye nini. I came to a conclusion. I'm not going to tell anybody. I don't have to. Nobody's going to know. How are they gonna know? How are they gonna know? Huh? How are they gonna know? They knew because hormones and bad pregnancy. Not bad pregnancy per se. Like, you get the signs were there and the symptoms as early as month 1. I had the worst case scenario of what do you call them? These morning sickness. I had the worst case scenario of just pain, suffering, and tribulations. Are they called that? I hope. So I didn't even have to tell them. I got sick 3 days in a row. I was given permission from school because it was a day school. I was told just go home. So they thought it's cramps because earlier they were used to me having very, very, very bad cramps during my periods. They were very used to me just going to hospital at least once every 2 months. I had to go to hospital for period-related pain. So to the management of the school, sometimes I would just ask for permission, and then one of the female teacher we were close with would say, "Oh, it's that time again. Okay, you just go home." This time they thought it's the same. Like they didn't know I had found a solution for 9 months, a solution that was worse than the problem. So I asked for permission at that time, and I'm given a free pass. They're used to me just reading there with pain, and they don't want that kind of problems in their school at that hour. So day 1 comes, I get permission to go home. I go home. It is so painful. I am throwing up. I am not even thinking at this point. I just thought, hey, okay, I might die. I have to tell someone. I think that was the 2nd month. Yeah? That was the 2nd month. I thought, hey, I have to tell somebody, Bana. I can't. Nothing was holding in my stomach. I had gone to the local hospital and they gave me some Nozick medicine. I think it's called Nozick to help you to stop getting nausea. And it had worked really well until there was a mass. No, this is not even related. It's kind of funny because what re-triggered my nausea, my pregnancy nausea, is there was this thing that clears chicken zote zinakufa, kuku zote zinakufa, like ya jirani wanagonjeka. I can't remember, but we have a name for it in my mother tongue. So the chicken were getting really sick and they were really dying. So all the chicken from my grandmother's coop zilikuwa zimededi. So there was that key, the smell was there. That smell, that is what triggered the whole shenanigans and shebangs. So I am back to being sick. I am thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. I have to tell somebody. I can't eat anything. I can't even drink water alone. The most basic thing, water, could not stay in this stomach. Yeah. So I did have a phone. Did I have a phone? I don't think I had a phone at that time. Oh yeah, no, I did have a phone because when I had gone to visit my mom during the August holidays, ndio sasa tukuje that term, I had left it there so that I can come do what? Study for my exams, right? So that I can come and be more serious with my life and study for the exams, yay, and get the good grade so that I can match everybody's, thoughts and ideas about my strength and potential. So I don't have a phone to break the news to my mother. And I wanted her to know it from me. Because if she had known it from another person, Crickets. Okay. I borrowed my phone from my uncle, my late uncle. He's late now. And he gives me, I didn't have credit, so borrowed, I borrowed credit from the, what is it called? Felisa? Okoa Jahazi, yes. So I acquired some credit from his phone, and he was mad later, but he didn't know what was happening. So I'm calling my mom, crying, because I mean I already know death is coming. Winter is coming, and it's not going to be very nice. So I called her, crying, wailing, and then when I'm calling her crying, she's wondering, okay, what's happening? Because if you're breaking the news crying, it obviously has to be something not good. And I just had to say one sentence, and I said it. Akakata simu. So from there, the whole clan was calling me. And when I say clan, I mean clan. Everybody was calling my uncle's phone. Nini hizo nasikia? What is happening? Because now she started calling everybody, saying my name, crying. So everybody's thinking, of course, the first thing that comes to your mind when somebody's calling you and saying somebody's name and crying is not that they are pregnant. So when the other people started calling, they wanted they were expecting the worst. I mean, it kind of worked to my advantage, because now you're expecting bad news, and then you're expecting worst news, and then it's not even worse news when you finally learn what it is. It's just kind of bad, I guess. But it has happened before. It has happened to people. So everybody else was like, Indio alikuwa anapigia nduru akilia, akitaja jina yako. Like, yeah, we understand it happened, but drama much? Pole mom. So the people started calling, and then now I am tired at this point. My uncle is wondering, okay, what's happening? Because even him, I hadn't told him anything of what is happening. So he's like, Karo, what is nini? Mbona mama yako analia? Mbona we unalia? Mbona mnalia? Nobody's telling him anything. I think at that time, I don't know where my grandparents were. This is that time nimepewa ruhusa shule so that I can go home. And I'm here really sick and feeling like I'm going to die. So that was that time, right? So I'm in uniform. My uncle is wondering if something happened at school, something like really bad. I don't know what he had in his mind at that point, because now sometimes you try formatting ideas and they're not coming. Like, what is so bad that you're crying, your mother is crying, everybody's calling my phone? Ilibidi tu azime phone yake. So now, people decided, okay, you don't want digital, we're coming manually. My mom could not come. She would have killed me. So she sent my auntie. Okay, it was a distance too, like several towns away where she was staying and working. So she sent my auntie, whom she was working together with, who came very early in the morning the following day. Yes. And everybody had ideas, let's just say. Everybody had ideas, but I stood my ground and decided, this child, I'm keeping. I think this is the best thing that I've ever done in my life, because what 17-year-old me did not know is I was acting from a point of deprivation of that word. Kukosa love. Like, I have so much love to give, and I do give it, and at that time I was giving it, but I needed to like give it from a deeper perspective. I think to like the instant reaction, what is it called? There's a word for that, but I can't find it. If I find it, I'll come back to this. But the instant reaction, the knee-jerk reaction for my situation at that point was, I'm gonna keep this baby because I want somebody to love as much as I've been wanting to. And I'm not encouraging 17-year-olds to get pregnant. Wewe. Sijaku point. I'm just saying it happened, and here we are. Don't misquote me. Don't cancel me. I'm just starting. uh, so my story goes, everybody knows now. And you would think my situation would have gotten better now that everybody knows. Probably I thought maybe the whole morning sickness and the whole getting sick was coming from a point of anxiety because nobody knows, because I have stomached so much. Stomached. No, unfortunately, I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. It got worse to a point that I've already registered for my KCSE. And if I can remember well, people who are doing KCSE, ametoka surgery, na exam iko in the next hour. They are brought for the exam there. It's like, I think KCSE is at that time. I don't know if it's still happening, but at that time it was that much of a big deal. Ikikupita imekupita, you have to go back another year, and nobody wants to go back another year just because you have a few stitches and you're damaged and you have a catheter on your side. Anyway, I digress. I was admitted by the time we were starting KCSE. Like, the pregnancy was so bad I had to be admitted at hospital. To a point where the nurses had known me so well, they would just pull out my file and give me a bed. Watakuja kuniangalia baadaye. So this was now the beginning of that session of in and out of hospital, getting sick, getting sicker, getting way, way sicker. This time is, I think, 3 months into the pregnancy. So we have KCSE coming on. But I really thank God that I had good support, The principal of that school, oh my God, I don't even know what I can do to that woman, because she mobilized everybody. I had a teacher coming to see me at least once every 2 days. Yes, once every 2 days, that's right. I had my family coming out. Not my mom, though. Oh God, the way I disappointed that woman. Yeah, but she's good now. I mean, it's 11 years. What can she do? So I am sick. Exam is here. I was given a private room where I would sit for the exams, and I would do my thing, which is nothing besides writing the name. As I said, I didn't have time to study even when I was supposed to be studying. And now it's even worse. I don't have time to study when I'm sick. And I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I probably couldn't, because eyes were hurting. I could hear well. It was a whole thing. I don't know. I don't know what that was, by the way. I don't know what that was. So, I would do my exam. The papers would be taken kama kawaida, taken back to the location. And day 2, day 3, day 4, I think the whole exam period, no, the first 2 weeks, it's normally 3 weeks, yeah? The first 1.5 week. Because when I went back to school, now when I got better, I went back to school and I started taking the exams from school. But also now towards the end of the exams, I think after doing the last exam and staying home for a day, I went back to the hospital once again. Shocker. So, yeah. That's the story of the girl who got pregnant in Form 4. So that has happened. Fast forward to now the middle, where this episode started, right? We're in 2016. Child is 2 years old. Mother, me, is 20. And I am in that living room with my mom, my dad. They have already discussed, I'm going back to school. At the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, fine, I got a D+, and I had received a letter from an upcoming college to go and study. Honestly, I can't remember what the course was, but I kind of adjusted to liking it, even if law was my first love, and of course you get. So I'm thinking, hey, about time, basi, you guys put me in college. Nimesafa hizi 2 years. College, yeah. No, it wasn't college. They had ideas. They wanted to put me in high school. According to the awards, we're going to give you one more chance to do this, to do life. And, well, they did give me a chance. So my mom started not panicking, tamacking. Shortly after that, she's going looking for schools. There's that 2 years gap. And it's not like you are in Form 3 now you want to join. No, it's not like you are in Form 2 now you want to join Form 3. You are in Form 4 na ulikuwa umemaliza. So why the change of mind after testing the world for 2 years? Well, the good thing about her, she knows about stigma and, stereotyping and stuff. So she never ever told any school principal of the schools that she was looking for that it's because I had gotten pregnant and had given birth to a child, and that now I want to go back and retry this and try this again. No, she just, I don't know what story she came up with. Oh no, to make it sweeter, she would say, oh, she just came and told me she's tired with living out there and she wants a second chance with life. And she said hata ni yeye alijitakia, so there's something about second chances, especially if like you're grown. I was 20 according to my mom, begging my parents to go back to high school. So of course the story touched one principal, one or two, because I had, at the end of the day, when she came back from Tamaki, she just went around for 2 days. 2 days, yeah. She came back with a letter, with 2 letters for admission, but we chose one school that was closer to home. And before I know it, I'm getting admitted. Before I know it, I'm back to a skirt and a shirt and a tie and a sweater. A sweater. God, I hate sweaters. Yeah. So I'm there in uniform, in my 20-year-old self. The good thing about that is you couldn't tell. Yeah? Nifanye blow dry, nishike vosodo. Nivae black shoes, ikiwa very polished, and a skirt that was ankle length. They were that long, those skirts. And I'm there, soft spoken. I have a voice that I use when I want to be a good girl. So I'm just there talking nicely and with all this knowledge, because now this is the same girl who had gotten that really good grade in KCPE. She's still the same intelligent girl. She's still the same girl who had gotten to that provincial school, right? And interacted with so many people. So I am back to this school. Not back, I am newly into this school, but I am overall back to high school, right? So everybody wants to hear the story of this girl who is back to high school after 2 years. The teachers are giving example, like, we shinda hapo umelala, na unaona watu wengine, they're wishing they could come back to school. Like, I was literally the example in that school. And then now I just knew this is what I need to do. I stopped making it my parents' idea and made it, embraced it, and wanted to really do this, without it being, it's because my mom said, it's because my dad said. No, I wanted it to be, okay, yes, they said. So how do I squeeze as much lemonade from these lemons and do it? And now this time, it's not like the first time when I was in high school. No, this time, it's not just me. It's me and my daughter. So I decided it's gonna work, or it's gonna work. So I used to study. Oh my God. This second chance nayo sikuilalia. I used to study every time. Actually, if the people I went to school with, my friends, and other students from that school can come forward, they will tell you I used to be left after God, what was that damning thing called? Yeah, preps. Yeah. I used to be left after preps. I used to wake up earlier than everybody else. But now that one for waking up earlier is because I didn't want them to see my anatomy. I'm here posing like a young girl who's what. People can tell you have had a child. And this is a school where girls are just dressing up. Like, wanavaa tu mbele ya kila mtu. So by waking up earlier and showering earlier and coming to the dormitory with a towel is because I want to just, conceal my... What do I say this without sounding offensive? Okay. When you have a child, the child suckles. When they suckles, your titties, they stop being as firm. So I just knew one girl will see, and of course rumors were going around because had people from back home saying it. And every time somebody was asking me, "Ai Karo, bethe unakuanga na mtoto?" I was like, "Ai mtoto." Not denying, not agreeing, and then that story dies away. So I just knew if one person really confirms that this is, they will be like, "Hey, hizo matiti hata zinakaa zimenyonywa. Hakuna venye huyu msichana hana mtoto," I was not denying the fact, but also I was not accepting the fact because, oh my goodness, the kind of, I don't know. So yeah. So I would wake up way, way earlier for that purpose, and also for the purpose of studying, and also be left at later after preps. I would go running after the teacher when they come out of the class and ask them questions because I really, really wanted to catch up. It's been 2 years, and also it had been 2 years, Form 3 and Form 4, since I had transferred from the provincial school that I had been called to the day school. And people are performing. It's not the day school that was the problem. It's me. I was playing too much. So I had not studied for, give or take, 4 years. Form 3, Form 4, 2013, 2012, 2013. And the 2 gap years that I took to raise my child, that was 2014 and 2015. So I have 4 years to catch up. On, and I don't know anything. In fact, when I was doing revision, I started from Form 1, Book 1, Page 1, on everything, on all the subjects that I was taking. So eventually, the first exams came. I came right up about the time when everybody was doing midterm exams. And of course, I flopped. I failed. The only questions that I got right were the questions that we had studied since I came to that school. That was like 2 weeks ago. Because I was attentive. I was taking notes, But I said, okay, fine, we're coming back for another term. And I have a second chance at this. I'm not giving up. I went home with lots of books, lots of revision books. I think I was in contact with some teachers. I would ask them questions, and they were so helpful. They were really, really helpful. Like, if there is a group that helped me in that phase of life, it's the teachers who were teaching me different subjects. They would encourage me to ask questions. They would handle me with, not like, how don't you know that? Nimetoka kufunza tu sahi. Ama, that is Form 1 stuff. How don't you know? No. None of that. They were all very, very supportive, very attentive to my queries, and they would really, really help. So now, fast forward, tumetoka midterm, we are here. It's another half of the term. And I am still running after teachers, still, being the cool, composed girl who came back after 2 years to study and live a better life, And finally, kajipa too, And it didn't even take long. It didn't even take second term. Iyo too, the second part of the term. When we were doing end term, the results could be felt. The results could be, seen. Mathematics, I had gone back uko kwa Form 3, Form 2 work, Form 1 work even, because, I don't know. I don't think I took my first phase of high school as seriously as I should have. But now, that brings us to another part of the past, right? I could have taken that part of high school seriously, but it was a new found freedom, I'm in Form 1. I'm in a boarding school for the first time ever. I have just come from being told every jioni, kamua ng'ombe, look after your sister and brothers, cook, I had so much responsibility as a primary, and in my upper primary school phase, that being in high school for me was liberation. Being in high school in a boarding school was freedom. And you know how most people feel, wanateseka, for me, it was my chance to just do things. As much as there is supervision from the teachers, there's supervision from the school rules and stuff, there's boundaries you can't cross. But oh my, did I cross those boundaries well? Here, it's like a cage bird has found the door open and they are out. It's not like they are going outside to the world. They are still inside the house, yes, but the space is way, way bigger and they can run from corner to corner. They can break glasses. They can break the lights. They can flap closer to the stove and get burnt a little. Now, that was me, yes. Coming from home and going into the boarding school. For most people, it was like, sasa ndio wanaingia kwa hiyo cage, the small one. But for me, it's going from the small, constricted cage where you can't even breathe to now having a bigger space, walls. You're still, haujatoka nje at all because I'm in high school, boarding, yeah. But you have bigger space to just be. And to be, I became, yeah. The reason why I left that big school to come to this day school is because I was not performing to the level I thought I should have. Once again, expectations za watu. Also mine. I used to feel bad and I'm really trying, I'm trying to be this girl that I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to follow the rules. I'm trying to read. I'm trying to study. But my mind was everywhere but in the books. It was everywhere but in school work. It was thinking about sleeping. It was thinking about rebelling. It was thinking about... There's a time the teacher had called us in front. I don't know what specimen we were looking at for biology class. That was in Form 2. No, Form 1. Actually, my rebellion started in Form 1. So we're looking at specimen. Everybody's just huddled there in front around the teacher. I sneaked out of the class and went ukonje. I don't know what... There was an activity somewhere, I can't remember, but... Yeah. So, my free will had... Yeah, it had escalated to heights I had not thought of before. When you... Okay, I went to a day school, primary school. And... You have to come back home to do stuff. 1, 2, 1, 2. Being the firstborn daughter. With 3 siblings. With an overworked, stressed out mother. Who had kids back to back to back, most likely had, postpartum depression that she didn't even know about. But now that I'm reflecting, and I'm telling you, I think this podcast is very healing for me because it's helping me reflect. For the longest time, I was wondering, like, how could a mother do this to her child, They could have, I don't know, hired house help. I was 11, I was 12, I was 13. I have no business taking care of 3 siblings. I have no business kukamua ng'ombe. I have no business Chores are good. But for me, those were not chores. I was literally parenting. So now I am like reflecting back to those times when I'm journaling. And it's coming back to me like now that we know a lot about postpartum depression. Now that we know the kind of stuff that happens when you're raising kids, or you've had them back to back, there's a time that reaches where you need help. And if you can't afford it, the next available help, which could be your firstborn daughter, which in this case was her firstborn daughter, is what you're going to maximize on, right? And I don't know, from a child's perspective, tough. Because even when we were going to visit my cousins out there, you see everybody my age, because my cousins were very, very close in age. The age gap is not that far. They would be there playing with themselves. Me, I'm here taking care of one of my siblings, probably my youngest, carrying them on my back, just looking through the window, seeing the other kids playing. I can't play. My mom was very tough. She has since softened up. She's very good with her grandchild, my daughter. But hey, that time. So now that I'm reflecting at that, I'm wondering, okay, nowadays people still get your postpartum depression and other forms of depression because she was really going through a lot. No, this is not her story, but I mean, she's involved, so I have to touch it. I don't want to go to deeper details, but like kama saizi, when we have access to help, you can pay for 2 to 3 house managers, house helps. They come, clean, stay with the child, and you still end up feeling like getting those depressive episodes. What about that time, you know? So I am really trying to give her grace, to approach this from a point of, it was also tough on her, and probably she didn't know better because she had all her kids at 28. So collateral, that's it. So now the first phase of high school was really, really rogue and rebellious. The second phase, though, you couldn't tell between me and a saint. You know, I had to keep face so that people didn't know I had, So my business there, when I was entering that gate, I just told myself, your business and your business only is to study. You have this second chance. You have a 2-year-old at home. You don't want the time that you're spending away from her to be wasted. You could be there. You could be there playing with her. You could be there teaching her to call you mom because she was calling everybody else mom, except me. My name was Caroline for the longest time. I think alianza kunita mama akiwa around 6 years. So you could be there teaching her to call you mom, but you're here studying. Do you want to waste this chance? No. So that's the kind of mentality I went with for my second phase of high school. And it worked. It actually did work. I made really good friends. We're still friends to this day. Again, as I said, everybody has a story in my story. I'm just touching the base, and everybody's gonna get their episode per episode. And I don't know the moral of this story, but it feels good to say it. I'm just speaking my journals, you know. It's, as we say it, dining and journaling. So it's like spoken journals, I guess we can call them that. And I think this is where we wrap it up for episode 2. It's been nice talking about it, and I am so looking forward to reconnect on the next episode and the next one and the next one. I've been your host, Carol Maina, and this is the Dining and Journals podcast. Bye.